Hey, what's up, YouTube? A lot of people want to use their Raspberry Pi 2 or 3 to run Nintendo 64 or Dreamcast games, and some of you might have heard that they don't work at all. Well, that is a lie. I mean, they do work. I think people just say that blanket statement because the majority of them do not work, and if they do work, they don't look very well, the sound might be off, or the graphics might be off. For example, GoldenEye. It's, in my opinion, unplayable on the emulation, whether you have Pi 3, Pi 2, Pi 3 overclocked. It's still very, very laggy. It does play, it's just extremely laggy. Now, a game that does work really well is Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Kart. Both really good games, and they do work. So if you're looking for something like that, great. Mario Party 1 and 2, it shows here on this list that it's a little laggy, and there's some visual things wrong with it. But however, I've been playing it before, and it just crashes all of a sudden in the middle of a game. So it's not necessarily reliable. It'll play, you may or may not get through the whole game. Now, this is a short list on GitHub. I'll link this in the description below, telling about the 3 different emulator plugins and how they operate on the Pi. There's a much more comprehensive list that's a Google Doc, which I'm not exactly sure who manages this spreadsheet, but it is, again, on the GitHub website. It is posted there under the Nintendo 64 support section. And this is a much more comprehensive list. This list over here only has about 30, maybe 20, 30 games on it. This has 390 games on it. I've played Worms Armageddon. It does work. Yoshi's Story, yep, I would agree. It works. Never played that. Legend of Zelda, it is stable. This is something that it will perform a little bit better on if you do overclock. You do get a little bit more, frames, and it's not as glitchy. Now, Tetris 64, it works on a stock image. I've updated to the latest Retropie as of 1.3, 2017, and it actually gets a little glitchy on some of the new updated updates. So this is an interesting one that it worked stable for me on like stock's raise image, but once I updated it actually wasn't stable anymore. Smash Brothers, fairly stable, a little laggy. You could tell a little bit, but playable for sure. Super Mario 64, definitely playable. I could never get any of the Star Wars to work. Somebody said they got Rogue Squadron to work online. I think they're lying. I've never been able to get it to work. Star Fox, it does work. Revolt, I haven't played it, but it looks like it works here. Pokemon Stadium, I've played it. It is stable. I would agree with that. I haven't played any of these games. I haven't played that. Mario Golf, I've loaded it. It loads for sure. I haven't played the game. I haven't played that. F-Zero works. Yep, it's good. I haven't played these two. I'll check those out. Tarzan, haven't played it. Cyber Tiger. Cruisin' Exotica, that might work, but Cruisin' USA and Cruisin' the World run like garbage. Total garbage. Command & Conquer actually does work. The controls are just crappy. I can't get, speaking of like games like that, I can't get StarCraft 64 to work on mine. I was reading something that somebody wrote it did work. Okay, they're saying glide. Okay. Oh, it does say stable, loads games, but has visual bugs. I've never been able to actually get it to load. Bust a Move, yep, those work just fine. I've also played Micro Machines, that worked fine. Banjo-Kazooie works fine. Diddy Kong Racing actually works pretty good. A Bug's Life, haven't played it. And 1080, haven't played it. I'm going to go through more of these games on my system in a separate video, but I would have to say that this list is fairly accurate. Like Gauntlet Legends, never been able to get it to work. So if it says unstable on here, I imagine it's totally unstable. If it's blank, you got, maybe a 50-50 shot. And I'd say 90% of these stables are correct. Not all of them, though. So there's your 2 Nintendo 64 lists. The next system we're going to move on to is Dreamcast. Now, in my opinion, it struggles with the Dreamcast even more than Nintendo 64. So if you think Nintendo 64 is bad, then don't even try with Dreamcast. The other thing with Dreamcast is some of these games are like over a gig to transfer over onto your Pi. So you're going to run out of space on your SD card really quick, as well as the audio is just awful on almost all the games you're going to play. It's super laggy, it's twitchy, it cuts out and in. The controllers are really hard to set up on Riecast. There's a lot of issues that we can get into, but let's just say you jump over all those hurdles and you have the Riecast working on your Retropie, on your Raspberry Pi 2 or 3. And there are some, it looks like there are some games that do work. And I have a feeling that most of them are going to be the lower graphic ended ones. But for example, Crazy Taxi is a really popular game, and they're saying on this list it has issues. Gets slower and slower with rendering. I've loaded it on mine, and I would agree that it has audio issues and it's very, very slow. I'm trying some other ones like Sonic Shuffle and Sonic Adventure, but so far I have not had very much success with it myself. So here's another list to check out. I'll link it in the description below. I personally, I mean, if you're really feeling adventurous, go for it. I think really what we need to do is just wait for the Raspberry Pi 4, and then the Raspberry Pi 4 should have an upgraded GPU as well as a CPU, and with that combination, and as well as the Riecast updating their scripts and their configs, I think we can get a stable emulator for the Dreamcast. But for the time being, I would get just do it on your computer. You can emulate this system directly on your computer. Unfortunately, it's not going to be good for your Raspberry Pi 2 or 3 currently. I hope you liked this video. If you could, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.